I'm Brian Smith. I'm running for City Council in District 3. I'm from Provo City, and I'm a product of Provo. And having served on boards and commissions for the last 7 years, I feel it's time to get more involved in the legislative process and take some of these things that recommending bodies have been pushing to the City Council and to work on those. I see a lot of opportunity for increased retail for our citizens. I see a lot of opportunity for increased business to take some of the tax load off our citizens, off of impact fees and things like that. I see opportunities for transportation, such as BRT and other avenues. And I see a lot of issues that we need to work on with the budget. Housing, planning, things like that. They're all things that I'm very concerned about for Provo City, and I want to make sure that we do a good job of planning for the next generation in Provo, which my kids are a part of. Vision 2030, the Project 2030 was something that was put together, I thought, very, very well. It had a lot of input from Provo citizens, a lot of input from Provo's boards and commissions, and then adopted by the City Council and the staff. And I think that it shows the absolute caring that Provo citizens have to be able to put information in on these kind of things that reach out to 2030. I know we're already halfway there, and we probably need to create a new Vision 2050 or something, which I know we've already been working on in locations in the city. But I absolutely support the City Council's adoption of the Vision 2030, and a lot of the things that Provo City's citizens have input on that, from Parks and Rec all the way to transportation. I wholeheartedly support it, yes. The ideal relationship between the municipal council and the staff and the city staff is one of checks and balances. It's important to have those two bodies in place and working well together, not combatively at all. I think that we need people that ask questions. We need people that question everything and analyze everything. And my role and my career as a business analyst and manager of analysts is to do just that. It's to ask the right questions and make sure that the right answers surface, that we work toward a common goal. We have the ability to analyze and see the gap from where we are now, where we want to be, and how we bridge that gap as a unified body. However, checks and balances are absolutely important between staff and the municipal council. My agenda for running for City Council, number one, is to manage growth. With Provo City and Utah Valley as a whole expected to double in size over the next 25 years, how we grow is more important than ever. Urban sprawl versus the complete neighborhood, and that meaning a neighborhood that is able to sustain residents, to sustain workers, to sustain recreation, transportation, walking paths, biking paths, etc., is very, very key to maintaining our neighborhoods in the future with the size increases we're going to experience. So transportation is also another one. With the BRT coming, making sure that we're able to plan for the growth in the city and the county is urgent. I also believe one of the number one things we can be working on is providing the right retail resources for our citizens and knowing what those are and keeping them here. Bringing in the right business, making sure we don't offer too much, but offer just right to get businesses here. And like I said before, take some of the tax burdens off our citizens, put it on the businesses and retail, and help ourselves out that way. The RAP tax, you know, Provo's pretty smart. They've already done some polling, and most good organizations do that. Over 70% of Provo citizens have already said they would support a RAP tax. Anybody who spends money at Costco, anybody who spends money at the University Mall in Orem, you're already paying that RAP tax. It's 1 cent on $10. And I can afford that. I think people on fixed incomes could afford that. I think it's a good thing, where right now we have park infrastructure that is kind of lagging behind in maintenance and replacement in areas. We also rely almost solely on a small budget and some federal dollars and things like that for park improvements and bike paths and whatnot. This puts $1.2 million roughly in our pockets to go directly to arts, parks, recreation, and I believe it's a good thing. I believe it's time to fund ourselves, to fund Provo City, and this is the avenue to do it, and Provo citizens have already said that they want it. I believe it should go on the ballot, and I believe it'll be successful. I support it. The budget intent statements that were put out by the council in response to the mayor's submission of the budget, I believe are right on. I agree with them as a whole. I think the city council have made good analysis of the budget as it was proposed. I believe the staff has worked with the council in putting the budget together, and I think that's a great show of synergy for the municipal council and the staff and the mayor's staff. I agree with the budget that was put out. I think there are some hard things in it as far as increases, but we're still competitive. We are probably some of the lowest as far as utility rates and things like that of any of our neighbors in the valley. And I think that the budget as submitted and the city council's intent statements are pretty right on. I agree with them. I think that we need to improve. We need to gather a little bit more money here and there, and then doing it smartly and at a slow pace is very important, especially for those on fixed incomes and people who have a little bit harder time. So I'm Brian Smith again. I'm running for City Council, and I think it's important that we improve our retail offerings, bring in better and more business to Provo, increase our tax base that way, provide transportation, and almost number one on my list is communicate with our citizens. On my website, briansmithprovo.com, there is a comprehensive communication plan on how I plan to communicate extensively with the citizens, with business, with other groups around the county and in Provo. I think that's very important in making sure that all voices are heard. And I hope you vote for me. I plan to do great things in Provo, working with the staff and with the rest of the council members.